When I was 22, I made my first $500,000 with my clothing brand. And if for whatever reason I'm losing everything, I know what fundamental steps I need to take to get it all back. Because I've been doing this for so long and I know what strategies are working. I'm not sitting there and guessing what steps to take on products, on content, or whatever strategy. I know the blueprint now. So today in this video, I'm going to share the blueprint on what I would do and what steps I would follow to make my first $10,000. So let's get into it. So the first thing when creating a clothing brand is you have to go after specific customer specific identity, because you cannot just sit there and create clothing that fit everyone. You have to know who you go after. And the first thing I would do is actually draw a list of different niches or identities you can go after. When I'm talking about identities, I'm actually talking about different niches like hunting, fishing, hiking, a gym, a Pilates. There's so many different niches. Or going after identity like moms that are doing X that is doing Y. Like even within categories, so like within niches, you can even create a different persona. So you can even go like after the younger people or like the older demographic. But the first thing is really just like coming up with ideas on who you can sell to. Because the last thing you want to do is just like creating something without having a specific identity in your mind. Because if you don't have anything in your mind when you go after, you're just creating something that doesn't resonate with anyone. And to really get results fast, you need to talk to a specific identity or a specific persona and sell them that perfect product to them, because otherwise nothing makes sense. And then once you have your identity, once you have your persona you want to go after, you have to find the product. And this is a very critical stage, because what I've seen so many people doing wrong is they just create whatever. They just know, okay, good, maybe I'm going after this persona, and then they create whatever product because they think it could work. In this stage, in making your first 10K, you have no guess room of what could work. Best thing to do is look for what's already working. Do your research. Go on Reddit and see what people are talking about in that specific community. Or go on YouTube and see what product different vloggers are talking about. Go on Instagram, go on TikTok, see what's currently selling. Go on Amazon, type in XYZ niche and just doing deep research on what products are currently working, what's currently performing. Because the real definition of working smart is actually understanding what's currently working. And then from there on, you take what's worked. Either you apply your own spin or not, but you just take what's working and you get a piece of that cake. That's really the fastest way to do it. And to be honest, that's where most people actually mess up. Because when people start a clothing brand, they think, oh, I can be creative. I can do this. I can do that. You can be creative. But come on, we're here to make money. So go after one specific identity, find different products and make a list of potential products you can test. You might have a good product, but if it's not converting well with Facebook ads or Instagram or TikTok ads, you're not going to make money. We're not going to play the organic role here. It's really just for us, like to really make money and scale, you have to use meta ads or like TikTok ads. And then once you have a list of different products, you can potentially test, get some creatives done for that, and then just put it live on Facebook. That's really easiest and the fastest way to test if something is working. You might think, how do I do this? Like, I don't have any inventory for this. I don't know if the product is actually worth pursuing with inventory. Well, there are multiple ways to actually test out things fast and really know, is it worth pursuing or not? For example, if you're selling a t-shirt or a hoodie that's printed or a hat, that's very easy to do. You should definitely start with print on demand and test out if the product is working or not. You don't have any upfront costs. You only pay once you're getting a customer and the customer's giving you the money. Then you take the money and pay it to the print on demand factory. Or if you have another product that is not print on demand related, you should easily find people on Alibaba or factories on Alibaba that have either stock of these, so you can just buy something like a couple samples, test out the quality. But the main idea behind this is to get sample and then from there on create content, because we live in a world where content really matters. If you can't create content that is performing and is converting, you lose it. To play it smart, order some samples, create some custom content with this, and then test it out on Facebook. And if you make money, congrats. Then you know you have the green light to pull the trigger to buy inventory. And one thing you need to keep in mind is that's a really good tip for y'all. You don't have to do everything perfect. It doesn't have to look good. Like I've seen ads, like even like some of our ads are super ugly, but they're converting. So I know a lot of people watching this because I think clothing brand means something that they can create that is super aesthetic or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just get things tested. Test ugly, but test fast. It's like really one of the biggest tips I can give y'all. I've seen this over and over. I see so many people just spend months on perfecting a sample, perfecting a fit, a fabric and whatever. And then when they launch, they're not making any money. Do not do this. Trust me, like this world we live in right now, you have to move fast. So like you have to jump on something that's working. And then once you have some ideas, if you don't do this, you're gonna get left behind. Honestly, I'm telling you, this is really the God's honest truth. Test fast, really. I'm emphasizing on this. Test fast. So yeah, so like once you do have some products or like even one product that is performing well, like performing decent, you might actually question yourself, how do I know if the product is profitable for you? There's multiple ways to figure this out. Let's say you're selling something for $60, right? You don't have any inventory and you're spending money on Facebook to acquire a customer. You might actually gonna lose some money in the beginning just because you have to test out different creatives, or maybe if you're doing print on demand, you have to test out different designs. But the thing is, you have to know your profit margins roughly, because with print on demand or anything clothing related, you're actually paying more money with the inventory if you're having a lower order volume. So let's say you're ordering like 50 units or 100 units, you're gonna pay a lot of money. If you're print on demand, you're also making less money if you're just doing print on demand. But the thing is, you have to know your rough margins when you're actually at scale. I'm not talking about big numbers. I'm actually talking about like more than just like 500 units, just so you know like how much you can actually save. And then from there on, you have to look at your cost per acquisition on Facebook. Let's say you're selling a product for $50, but you're spending 25 to acquire a customer. Then you have to know that product you're selling has to cost less than $25. You might gonna pay $30 in the beginning because you talk to your manufacturer, knowing that if you buy 200 units, 250, 300, whatever units, then you know you can actually get the price down. So then you could go down to like 20. Then you know you can make profits. But then also with clothing, you're actually gonna make more money with testing more ads. You might gonna have another ad that could perform much better. But the things with clothing, there's also this beautiful thing of lifetime value. So you're gonna make a little less money in the first purchase, but having your retention and having multiple products in your store, people will come back and buy more. So you're gonna spend more money to acquire a customer, but then in the back end, you're not gonna spend a lot of money just to get a second time purchase or a third time purchase. This is like just more about like what to do when you have some inventory, but on the lower end, knowing your numbers for the next 2-3 months, that's going to be very critical, because then you know you're going to squeeze out more money from the back end. You're going to squeeze out more money with new ads, some organic side of things with influencers. There's so many things you can do. But the first 10K, honestly, you can only do it with one product. It's actually not a lot of money to do. I know a lot of people are struggling with this, but the main reason you're probably struggling with this is because you don't have either the right creatives that's performing on Facebook or the right product. Mostly it's a product issue, but honestly, those two combined, doing it right, the creative and the product, they're going to get you found and fast. And to go from 10K to 6-figure months and beyond, you just have to do more of what's currently working. So you're not going to have one product that's performing really well. I've seen people just making crazy money just with plain white tees, but the creatives were super good. But they also knew what identity and what customer persona they have to go after. So you can take one product really far, but honestly, to go to like 6-figure, 7-figure months, you need to have a proper system. And to go there, you need to know what's currently working within your brand and just doubling down on it. So doubling down means creating more creatives of what's working, creating more products, creating more color variations of a product, adding more products to a store. With clothing, it's actually pretty easy to add more stuff to your store. With, like I said, print on demand, adding t-shirts and a hoodie and a hat is very easy to do. It doesn't cost you any money up front, but can actually get you a nice higher AOV. So there's so many things you can do with clothing, print on demand, but honestly, the first thing starts always with an identity. I know I'm saying this over and over, but so many people get this messed up. They just create something super generic and then they hope like something goes viral. And they think that these couple million views actually make them money. Likes ain't cash. Trust me, likes ain't cash. If you're not performing on Meta, if you don't have a product that's performing well on Meta, you're getting left behind, or it's taking you very long to get that far. So these are the steps I would take to make my first 10K or my first 6 figures. And if you want to learn more about how we're approaching scaling brands, or if you're starting from zero and want to learn more, hit the link in the description and apply to work one-on-one with me, and we can see if there's a fit between us. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.